You know, I had an interesting conversation that almost turned into an argument with a friend the other day. She asked me, hey, does dating advice really work? Now, I've been in this business for a long time. In fact, you might say it's my business, but I got a little defensive on that. I said, of course it works. But I could see from her point of view how it might seem like it's BS. And if you don't know how to use it, well, you could be in trouble. Today, I'm going to reveal how to make dating advice work. Hey, this is Carlos Cavallo from datingfire.com and datingadviceguru.com. Welcome back to the dating and relationship secrets you need to know. Now, I started out in this business a long time ago, over 20 years ago, giving dating advice just to guys. After all, I knew how to be a guy, right? And I understood guys' problems when it comes to dating and relationships. But you might find this funny that most guys are also skeptical about dating advice, but not for the same reasons that most women are, or you might be. Most of the time, these guys are just scared of using tricks and head games with women. And I bet you didn't see that one coming, did you? That's right, guys experience the same hesitation around using techniques or strategies to find a relationship. Now, if you ask me, I can't imagine not using it, at least to a certain degree. After all, a loving relationship is a priority. I'd do anything to make sure that I had a loving relationship, and I've been fortunate enough to find one. The fact of the matter is, there is a lot of dating advice out there, and there's also a lot of bad dating advice out there. Let's talk about how you know the difference. First, good advice is rarely ever clever or tricky. Let's be real here. Most people don't want to use tricks to make someone love them. Nobody wants to do that. But the funny part is that we're using tricks all the time. When a guy makes you laugh on purpose by telling you something funny or teasing you, he's intentionally using a slight trick to make you interested in him. Or if he uses an opening line to get a conversation started, that's just a trick to get him into a conversation with you. I think you'd agree that that's a worthwhile trick, right? And women do the same sort of thing. Let me ask you a question that is pretty much guaranteed to make you a little bit uncomfortable. Why do you wear makeup? If you do wear makeup, you probably know that it's something you do to put on your best presentation, right? You want to look good. But if you're being completely honest here, hey, get your hand off the screen, stay with me here, don't run away. If you were being completely honest, makeup isn't being honest, right? After all, it's not how you naturally look. It's not completely accurate. But the truth is that both men and women appreciate the use of makeup. Sometimes it's kind of hard to go all natural, right? Second, good dating advice is rarely found online or in magazines. Let's be perfectly honest here. Again, if all that advice that they gave you in Cosmopolitan or those other magazines was so great, why do they have to keep reprinting it again and again and again? Quite simply because it's not really advice. And I've found that actually some of it can be pretty damaging. The truth is they are just trying to sell a magazine. There's nothing wrong with that, especially when most women don't even read most of the articles in those magazines anyways. It's kind of like the same way guys don't buy Playboy for the articles. Wink, wink. You know what I'm talking about. You get my point. Human beings rarely act logically or what? Rationally. If you doubt this, just watch one of your friends when she starts dating a new guy. You probably never see anything more irrational in your whole life. Hey, if you want more great advice from me, you can get my free ebook and a ton of great articles that are not available online, along with some videos and some other podcasts. Go grab your free ebook and all this good stuff at datingfire.com/free book. That's datingfire.com/free book. I'll also send you along some of my great bonuses just for being on my VIP newsletter. So it's free. Why not? Okay, the main problem that dating advice creates is that it's probably keeping you single. A lot of popular dating advice is built on a very flawed idea. And the idea is this: if you want to find a soulmate, you have to pretend to be what he wants. Now, it may sound like I'm giving that same advice to you from time to time here on this channel, but that's not what I say. The misleading advice that they give you also tries to tell you that you shouldn't do anything to deliberately attract your soulmate, which is also very, very wrong. So if you're not supposed to try to change for them, and you're also not supposed to wing it or improvise, or as they say, fly on a wing in a prayer, what are you supposed to do, right? You can see why this gets so confusing. You can't try, but you can't not try. One side tells you to change, the other side tells you to not change. The reason that trying to change never works is because, well, most people end up appearing fake and inauthentic. They don't look like they're really them. They still manage to end end up acting instead of being natural. Now, the reason that trying to not change never works is because most people don't even realize how the opposite sex actually sees them. So they're always holding on to old habits, old ways of being that they just don't need anymore. And if they got rid of those, they might actually improve their dating game. The truth is about dating that while we are looking for somebody who we have chemistry with, we are also looking for somebody who is kind and understanding. We're looking for both the outside package to a degree, and we want the inside package at the same time. Everybody wants so much these days. Now, I've seen a bunch of psychologists and psychiatrists and all kinds of so-called scientists who tell you that sexual attraction is not the most important factor in a relationship. Well, this is only partially correct. The truth is that if you don't have sexual attraction, then you don't have the main fuel that will power your relationship. So when it comes right down to it, how do you use dating advice in a way that gets you these results? Dating advice tip number 1 is don't change your personality. This is what I was just talking about, but let me get clear here. Instead, take a look at your behaviors and habits and see how they might appear to the opposite sex. If it's something important to you that you consider essential to your identity, then of course, don't change it. Don't be inauthentic or fake. But the truth is, as Will Smith said in the movie Hitch, you are a highly fluid concept, meaning that you define yourself every day. So it's your choice. Dating advice tip number 2 is don't ignore your appearance either. Just because love is created based on unkindness and genuine heart connection, that doesn't mean you don't want to look appealing to the opposite sex. Just remember that a man has to overcome an incredible amount of self-doubt and fear to walk over and talk to you. So, to be blunt, you better give him a seriously good reason to walk over and talk to you so that he can overcome all that inner momentum, the inertia he has against it. He's fighting that just to come talk to you. Hey, don't get left out in the cold. Hit subscribe, turn on notifications, and you can get these videos every week. You'll know as soon as they come out, and it also really helps support the channel, and I need that more than ever, so don't miss out. All right, the next tip is don't take advice from broke stockbrokers, okay? When it comes to dating advice, well, let me put it this way. An old sales mentor of mine used to remind us that you never take investment advice from a broke stockbroker. You never take financial advice from somebody who isn't doing better than you. And yet you see this all the time. People listen to their brother-in-law who's knee-deep in debt telling you, oh, he tells you what kind of fortune he can make in cryptocurrency, even though he can't even spell it and can't even pay his bills. The same thing is true for dating advice. Don't take your dating advice from somebody who isn't living the kind of success you want to have in a relationship. Yes, I'm probably talking about most of your girlfriends. I'm sorry. Apparently 80% of Generation Z singles, comes from a survey, 80% of Generation Z singles say that it's important to get their friends' advice on who to date. Ugh. And a majority of those people usually report regretting following that advice later on. So instead, trust your own feelings and intuition and seek out advisors like me, like Carlos, that give you the straight truth. All right, next dating advice tip is if you get good dating advice, use it. In my experience, the people that use my advice almost always get significantly better results in their dating life, whether this is my counseling or my dating advice or my spiritual advice. They do better because they actually put the advice to work. They take the advice. Even trying bad advice is better than doing nothing, because at least then you're learning from your actions. Most people prefer to do nothing to avoid any kind of risk. They don't want to fail, so they don't do anything. And unfortunately, all this does is make it more likely, in fact, almost absolutely sure, that you will fail. Contrarians are people who just like to go against the grain. They say no when other people say yes, just to sound different and seem like they're mavericks or rebels. But very often, contrarians are simply looking to build a bigger ego rather than win at the game of love. While it's true that most of the popular dating advice is a little bit flawed, the truth is that most people never use it in the first place to find out if it's going to work for them. This is why I created my programs. I created extremely focused and heart-centered programs to help you get the man you deserve and find the love of a lifetime. The real truth that no one tells you is this: the biggest problem about finding a romantic partner is everyone wants to find a perfect partner, but almost nobody tries to be a great partner back. And it's so easy to do. Let me show you how easy it is. Go get started right this minute. Grab my free ebook. Go to datingfire.com/free free book. Start there. I'm also going to give you my free VIP newsletter. I'm going to send you a bunch of great dating advice. Yeah, the good stuff that you're not going to find anywhere else, stuff that I don't even print online. So get started right now, going over to datingfire.com/free book. Hey, if you want more of this kind of great dating advice, you can watch more videos. I'm going to have another one pop up here in just a second, but you can also go over to the site and check out and see what I've got there. If you're new here, or even if you're not, before you run away, do the big three. Number one, like and subscribe. Get this stuff every single week. Number two is to turn on the notifications. You got to click that bell icon so you get notified when the next video comes out. And of course, watch it. And if you're already subscribed, please make sure you share this channel with other women who could use it. I give away all this good information, and what I really need is to spread the word. Unfortunately, the algorithm buries a lot of people on YouTube these days, so help us out. Oh, and number three, comment below. Did you agree with these tips I was talking about? Is there something about dating advice tips that you think is people should know about? Leave me a comment below, and let me know if you want a part two. I do read these comments as much as I can. And of course, this is Carlos Cavallo. As always, live and love with passion.